will come on. So others will come on as they come on, because it is spring, and now that stuff is starting to open up, they all want to get out. So I get it. I get it. But we are going to be talking about changing those habits. Okay, what is that all about? And so it's really, what are habits? Why do we have them? Are we habitual people? Oh gosh, yes we are. But what happens with those habits that aren't serving us? Well, guess what? We still keep them. And that's why, you know, and moving from and it causes monotony in our lives. And a lot of times the habits we're doing not only create this monotony, but they also create this world that we don't feel like we can get out of. And every time what we do is we start thinking, well, it's like dieting. Let's use the diet. I love that one. That's such a good one. All right, so if I want to lose weight, then I go right for how I'm eating. I start writing down everything I eat. I find the program that works the best. I start doing that program. Sometimes I spend lots of money on these programs. And I start thinking, I'm going to change my habits. I'm going to be healthy. I am going to just lose those whatever pounds. And it goes great for the first day. Sometimes it doesn't even go the first day. But sometimes the first day is awesome. You think, okay, I'm on there. Sometimes the second day is really good. Third day, ooh, we're getting hard. By fourth day, we are cheating. By fifth day, we're saying, screw the diet, you know? And then we're back in the boat that we were in the beginning. That's why I hardly ever hear anyone saying they're going to make a New Year's resolution, because nobody sticks to the resolution. Why? Because the habits are too damn strong. But here's the thing. Habits can be a nuisance, but I want to read you a quote. It says it much better than I can. It's actually from Gandhi. And this is a well-known quote, but actually for being so well-known, I know a lot of people don't know it. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. And then I added, your habits then form your life. Okay? I thought he could have gone farther. And leave it to me to increase on a master's wonderful quote. But I did think that. I'm sorry?
Do you mind reading that one more time? That was a good.
Of course. I'll read it a little slow for you too. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Now that's all Gandhi, folks. Now then I added, your habits form your life. Okay? So this is, I want to talk about this a little bit. So a lot of times we go after our habits. But as you can tell from that quote, our habits are formed from something deep inside of us. Now, so we think, okay, we're going to change our thoughts about this. But is that even, that's a good start. It's farther back, you know, but is it always effective? No. We have to go back into the belief. We have to go back into the belief. Losing weight, for instance. There's a heck of a lot of stuff going on inside of us. That is why we're not losing weight. It could be as simple as being an impulsive eater. Why are you an impulsive eater? Well, maybe you get bored easily. Maybe that's all that's around you. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be a lot worse, not worse, but a lot deeper, such as I had a bad body image when I was a kid. People told me I was chubby. Or I always, my mom had comfort food, and every time I came home and I wasn't feeling well, she'd get out that spaghetti or that macaroni and cheese, and I would just always see carbs, and that formed my comfort food. So I feel like all that stuff is comforting, and I love to have comfort. Can be that. These beliefs form us. We are a walking belief in everything we do. Now we can take that even into what we choose in our life, what we believe we can accomplish, what we can feel like we can, who we will marry or not marry. All of this is because of beliefs we have inside. So if we're looking, say we've got a habit in our life, we've got to start looking at it in a deeper way. Why do I keep doing the thing I'm doing? Why, don't just think we can just fix it. I know there are a lot of motivational speakers out there who'll tell you, oh no, you just get up there, do that affirmation, act it until you make it, kind of stuff. And I know that because I've been there. I saw all that. Yes. My mentor, Bob Proctor, used to say it all the time. But the more I worked with people and the more I started, and I thought, that's not how I do it. And then when I started working with more and more people, I saw it's deeper than that. There's a level that they have to work on. That's their worthiness. Oh, good. Anat is here. Oh, good for her. She needs to hear this too. So, all right. So when we're starting to enter somewhere new in our life, and many of us are seeing a new reality coming out of this crisis, I'll call it, pandemic. And with that, there has to be a change of habits. And the thing is, it's hard enough to change a habit when we want to change the habit. But it's very hard to change a habit when we're thrown into having to change a habit. Because we get stubborn. We stick to our belief. But our beliefs aren't going to serve us in this new world. Our belief is not going to serve us in our everyday newness in our own life. As we get back out there, businesses are going to be different, very much different. People are not rushing back to a lot of the stores. Like we opened up here, people are not rushing back. The Walmarts, yes, but everything else, not so much. People are opening up for restaurants. It's pretty dead in there. So it's not going to be the bounce back into the normal so-called life that we had, although nothing was really normal. It's a new normal. And how do we want to go forward? But what are the habits that you're finding that are keeping you in your day from doing the things you think you need to do to move forward? Can you write those down on a piece of paper? Hello, Annette. Hey, good. We're talking about habits, hon. Della, can you undo Annette, please? She has a question. Hi, Annette. Did you have a question?
Yes, what should we write?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so write down some of the habits you have that are keeping you from achieving some of the things you want to change or achieve in your life, such as a diet, such as looking for a new career, such as writing that book, such as whatever it is. What are the habits? And, guys, we are habitual. So when we get up in the morning, we have our routine, whether we like it or not. We have a routine. Is it a routine that sets us on the best in the day? Or is it just a routine to get up in the morning and start? Our workout schedule, our working schedule, our time with our kids. What is holding you back in any of those areas from creating what you want to create? What are the habits that you always find yourself going back to? Would anyone like to share?
I'll start.
Okay.
I have been searching for a job and not in a job for a while. I've noticed I do not get up early as I should. And I'm not a good sleeper, so it's easy for me to just want to sleep in. But I found sleep in, the later I sleep in, and then my whole day just sort of feels like I'm just a little bit behind, and I don't quite have the energy that I have when I usually get up at a designated time.
Okay.
And so I kind of just follow that instead of trying to do something about getting up earlier or picking up speed. I just have kind of been going with that flow.
I know, I get it. I get it. Oh, I totally understand, because I had a skin condition that was not good. And at night wasn't getting sleep because of it. Okay. And so I was going to bed like at 1, and that is really not my time. I'm a night owl. It's very easy for me to get into that night owl. And then to get up at 7 or 8, or no, we were more like 10 and 11. I thought, oh my God, the day. I actually thought maybe I should be like, what's her name? I actually did this. What's her name? Oh, come on. She was a icon. I can't remember. She sang A Free Man in Paris. She sang Circles. She was back in the 60s. You know, she was famous. She was just so creative. She started out in folk, went into jazz. She was well, anyway, she is a night owl. And what she does is she gets up like at 1, and she stays from 2 to 12, and then, or 1, and then she sleeps all morning. And I thought, if I didn't have kids, that really sounds ideal.
Yeah, well, I would do too. I am definitely a night owl. Yeah.
Yeah. And that doesn't help. So,
No.
So you have some options. You know what I mean? And for you, okay, first of all, I think it is because you're a night owl. I think it is because you're not sleeping well. You can also come up with some solutions to that. And so some of it might be, okay, so I have to kind of look at this. When am I most productive? That's a very good question to ask yourself. When am I most productive? Number 2, what is my, where is my lull in my day? And where can I take a nap if I need to do this odd schedule? But if I want to get up earlier, so what do I need to do to train myself to get up earlier? And either way, you could be a person who does that really odd schedule if you want to be. But if you're trying to get up earlier, and I always say some of the best ways is to create something in your life by habit that excites you in the morning.
I actually was doing that, but it wasn't a good habit. My favorite thing is soda. I love soda, and I know it's not good for you, but
I know.
I have sodas on Monday mornings, and it would get me out of bed because I knew I was going to have that soda, but I can't do that every day,
No, you cannot. However, you can create. I know. Well, I'm even worse. I like Diet Coke, and I got into the terrible habit when I was singing because it was so dusty on the stages. And that would cut through, and before I know it, I am hooked, line and sinker. And I always allow myself a Diet Coke every Wednesday after I do my show. So I'm right there with you.
Once during the week and once on the weekend.
Okay, that's fair. Well, that's not bad. I think everything in moderation, sweetie. I really do. I'm doing it too. So in the other days, you have to think of other things. And I think, you know what? I don't know if it'll excite you. 2 things. You've got to get yourself relaxed for bed. And fun ways. Like I love to take a shower or a bath, but what I do is I cut the cords off of me. You know what I mean by that?
I think so.
Okay, so what I do, Tracy's waiting for us, Stella. There is, so from the top of my head down to my feet, I cut everything off from the day. I cut off all the stuff I've done. If I've done videos, I cut off the show. I cut off all the clients I talk to. Cut off everything. I cut it off. The kids arguing, off, everything off. And I allow myself to just say it's done. Okay? I don't worry about tomorrow. And then that's after my shower or bath. And then when I go to bed, I do my gratitudes. All right. And then I get snuggled in, and then I ask God, I call him God, my beloved, and I say, can I come and lay in your hands? And then I go up and I lay in the hands of God, the universe, source, whatever you believe. And I lay there peacefully. Sometimes I'll talk for a little bit, but then I go to sleep.
What?
And in that way, when I do that, oops, yeah, there you go. When I do that, then I don't have any trouble going to sleep. But I've created that for myself. You'll want to create something like that. And don't try to cut it too short. You got to ease your way back into an earlier sleeping time. I tried it once and that didn't work. 3 hours was a little too much for me to handle.
And I do that as well. I do a nighttime meditation, and I go into my bedroom and I read with, I shut out all the electronics off. So I do work on that. Some nights, not so much, but it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. If you wake up, then just, and if you wake up at night, a lot of people wake up at night, and when they wake up, they go back into the thinking process, and just say, and for that, I always keep a pad of paper by my bed, and I write down whatever it is so it doesn't stay on my mind. But then I go back into my meditation and I lay back and go back to sleep. You'll have to try. It takes training and relaxing, because we don't always want to let go. But I refuse to let the day come into my night. And I refuse to let worries come into my night. And it's a little bit of the will in that. So if something does come in, I say, God, my beloved, I am handing that over to you now. I do. I just push it away. I'll deal with it tomorrow morning. You can help me, but right now I really can't. I'm not going to deal with it. And I push it away. Now, I used to be somebody who stayed up just all night long figuring things out. In fact, I was raised that way. It was a belief that you figured things out. You fixed whatever you had to fix. And but I found I wasn't sleeping, and I was getting nervous, and I thought, no, I don't need this. This is not going to help me. I'm obsessing. This is an obsessive behavior. I don't want to do it. And so I had to will myself to say, no, I'm not going to take this on right now. I think you're going to have to be more diligent in that, but also you have to, you'll have to look back. When I didn't know, that's another thing in belief. My belief, being raised, that we had to fix the problem. You fix the problem, you get it done. Result-oriented family. I'm still very result-oriented, but but I'm not going to obsess about it. And but that was something I grew up with. That was my dad. That was my mom, and that was a belief in me. I had to figure out what the belief. Why was I doing this all-nighters all the time, and why was I just always not letting go of something? And really, sometimes when you let go of it, that's when you get the greatest insight. So I had to look inside myself. And you can do a deeper thing. If you find that you're waking up all the time, or that you really can't use the will to do it, then there's a belief behind there. And you've got to look into why. And usually it's just asking yourself, we're smart people. And then you have to decide whether you want to keep it or you want to not. I say awareness is the key to everything. When you start getting down to the beliefs of things, then you have the total control to change it. But if you don't know, then you're shooting in the dark. You're trying this affirmation, you're trying that thing, you're trying to fake it until you make it kind of stuff, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? Yeah. And then you'll get up early, but if you really don't want to get up early, you can always do the stuff for the business stuff before you go to bed. But yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to see what works for you. How are you, Miss Annette?
I'm good. I'm just thinking about, I wanted to add something for Kathleen because I had the same issue.
Go ahead.
Some nights, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I really don't sleep enough, and then I'm so tired in the morning, and it's really hard to get up. And especially lately, because I'm dealing with this stuff, the 5G that I talked that I had to do, and I deal with something that is a nightmare. I just don't want to wake up to my day. So I find out that some days I'll wake up and I'll be 3 hours in bed, which is terrible. So what I try to do is I really figure out that I don't want to start my day because I don't enjoy the stuff that I do. I suffer. So I actually, like today, I got up at 5 or 4:30. So I actually do the first hour something I really enjoy doing. So at least I get up, I start my day, I enjoy it, and then later on I go to the other stuff, which doesn't sound right. Like I know with scheduling your day, you should do first the more important things. But I find out that it's so difficult. So it's better instead of just lying in bed for 3 hours, at least I get up and I do something for an hour that I enjoy.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
It is.
Yes.
It
and
is.
another thing that they say in terms of, though you mentioned that you do some of the things, but things that people with sleeping issues, they say really to have hygiene of sleep and to try to be consistent. Of course, not to have soda, which have caffeine, right? Cola or coffee, not to have it hours before you go to sleep. Try to take a shower before you go to sleep. Not to have the phone, the blue light from the monitors.
Right.
Some people, they say not to watch television, but for me, television helps to fall asleep. So it's individual.
Everybody's different. Yeah. And caffeine doesn't affect me. So there you go. So, but everybody's different.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to find your way. But in the mornings, like I'm not one who loves to jump out. Well, I do love to get up happy, but I like slower mornings.
Yeah.
Those mornings when everybody's going to school. Oh God, I still have to have a slower morning. So I'll get them to bed. I'll get them to school. And then I'll get a latte and I'll go to Little River Wetlands, which is a nature preserve here. And I'll have my latte and I'll do a meditation and I'll listen to the birds for a minute and I will get my act together. I'll do my morning routine there. And you should have a morning routine that connects you to it connects you to your source. It connects you to your day and it brings you to the highest vibration you can get. That is the definition of a morning routine, whatever that is. I always look forward to that, always. My morning routine, I'll give you an example. I always write my gratitudes, okay? So I sit at Little River Wetlands and I sit there with my latte, and I do my little gratitudes. And I feel the gratitudes, you know that. You have to feel them or else they don't raise your vibration. And then so already I'm feeling pretty darn good. And sometimes I'll even add some music if the birds aren't around. And then I will do a little meditation. And I always ask, well, how can I serve today? What is it that you see? Or do I have lessons today? I alter it. And then I get very quiet and I see if anything comes to me. And then after that, then I look at my day. And I know, we all have our day on our phone, although I really hate that because I don't know why, it's just hard for me to follow. But I tend to write my day out on my schedule, on a piece of paper. Now, I don't have to do that, but do you know why I do that? I get to think. I'm thinking, okay, I've got my day is packed. I go from 9 to 7. All right, so how do I want, okay, when do I get my meditation in? When do I get my, when do I get my time in? That's important. All right, and who do I want to be through this? And always I ask, and where is the fun? Because I always have to have fun. That makes my day. So I always have a little bit of fun somewhere in there. And so if I have the fun and I know who I want to be that day, when it's really hectic, most of the time I think, okay, you want to keep your calmness, you want to keep your peace, you want to feel this the way you do right now through this whole day. How are, you know, so I'll schedule breaks, I'll schedule check-ins with myself. Do you see? It sets an intention for the day. And by the time I get going, I feel darn good. I feel like I'm ready to take on the world. So think of something, you know, and it really does have to connect you to whatever your source is, and it's got to connect you to you, and it's really got to help you get into a right vibration and get you set on your day. Okay?
Not suggesting, because it'll get you out of bed, doing something that you love first thing. So that's
Yeah.
definitely what I'm going to incorporate.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So when we have habits, how do we go about the habit? We, you know, and can you look at some of the, you know, I see so many people with so many habits, and addictions are just habits on overload. They really are, you know, because they really, and you're masking something. But a lot of our habits, like for instance, I see a lot of, this is mostly women. Do we have any men on here? Hi, Pamela. We don't have any men, so I can do this. I see mostly women do this more than men. We keep ourselves so incredibly busy. Why? And a lot of times that busyness, we can't even think. We're just always really, really busy, and we think, but sometimes the most productivity comes in the moments of peace, or in the moments of just doing one thing. Or, you know, some of the biggest masterpieces are done when it's only one thing, not multitasking, or not running with our head cut off, you know, and yet we insist on keeping really, really busy. And I have my theories on to why, but that comes from many things. It can be because we don't want to think. It can be because we are trying to prove the worthiness of whatever we're doing, you know. What is the belief? If you have that, which many women do, I mean a lot of women, then take a look. Why are you doing it? There's a reason. Was your mom always that way? Was whatever it is, just see. And then once you see it, then you can say, hey, do I really want to keep up this habit? Now this is the key. When you do that, all of a sudden, then you can say, like we did with Kathleen, all right, we know what the problem is. We're going to look back at the belief, you know, we are a night owl, and I totally get that. But now that you know that, you have options. You have options. You could just change your whole schedule and do it the other way if you wanted. That's an option. But without knowing, you don't have options. You don't know what you're dealing with. So if I say, I'm just going to use, and then you can create an affirmation yourself that I am going to focus today and do one thing at a time. I am not going to feel hurried today. That's a beautiful affirmation. If you're a person who is always so too busy, I am not going to feel hurried today. It's simple. The best affirmations are simple. And then before you know it, you start doing it because you're addressing the belief, not the habit, which is the result of the thought, the belief, the thought. You know, it is, you're going to the core and you're changing that. Yes, question?
Yeah, not a question, a thought. I think it's easier said than done. Like when where I moved here years ago, I saw the mom so stressed, and I said, why people are so stressed? And then, you know, I'm in the same place. Like you get to this lifestyle, especially the way we live today, there's so many demands, and work doesn't end when you leave work, and kids have so much classes. Like sometimes I feel like my day is completely out of my control. So it's because I say to myself many times, but then like you have all these demands, and it's so hard to.
Yeah. You know what, I know I'm a single mom of 3 boys. I do understand that
Yeah.
totally. And then now that they're teenagers, I don't know if it's easier or harder, because half the time I can't keep track of where they're going. They go all over the place. But I'll tell you, that's why I added to my morning routine, looking at everything and saying, how do I want to proceed with this day? And I schedule in centering times. I have to. And if it gets too crazy, I even settle in some fun. What could fun be? Oh, well, that could be stopping for that. Well, it's not fun for you, but for me it is. Stopping for that little Diet Coke. It can be starting to come up with putting on really fun music where we all dance in the car. Or doing saying to the kids, okay, listen, let's play hooky today. Let's do something fun. And I'll do that sometimes. And that sometimes brings the best memories in the whole wide world. Those kids remember those times. I always say, hey guys, let's go on an adventure today, which usually means we're lost or mom's very tired of the day. So then we go and we do something really fun. And it can be little, it can be a picnic, it can be going to the river and just, I don't know, doing something, doing stones or something, or rent a kayak. I've done that before. I let a little bit of, I go with what I feel, what I need. I do not let stress get to me, because when I have stress, you become less effective. So why do I want to be the least effective that I can ever be? Why do I want to feel, when I'm stressed, that means I am not open to the connection of spirit, and I live by spirit. So if I cut off that connection, then, oh my God, I'm on my own. What a lonely place to be. But when I'm connected to spirit, when I'm connected to my soul, and I keep that together, in other words, I keep that open. And how do I keep it open? I keep it open by keeping my vibration high, but not like making it high. I do things that are fun. I do things that mean a lot to me. You know, if I'm writing my book, I make sure around me, I'm doing 2nd edition on my book right now. And I think that's tedious work. That is not flow work, that's tedious. So how do I make that fun? Because if I make it drudgery, if I start getting stressed about all the words I'm putting in there, guess what? I don't have flow. I will not hear the guidance that this whole book is under. You know, the stuff in that book is spirit. And so I will not hear that. I will be like me making it up, which is fine, but it's not what's good. So what do? I make sure when I'm doing these edits, I put on scented candles in my room. I make sure I have my dogs with me. I set up my little comfort zone. And then I nestle into my sofa and I start doing an hour of edits. Do you see? I make it fun. And, you know, even, and I understand, Annette, I know how you're on this cause, but I've been on causes most of my life, my younger life. I mean, really, I worked for equal rights. I worked for, in fact, I worked in the office, the lawyer office of equal rights all through college. I worked with, I was a big advocate for animals, very big. I was the anti-smoker of the whole wide world, and everybody in the world knew it. I mean, if there's a cause, I'm still fighting. I was one of the big ones that was promoting and also helping the release of the wolves in the Yellowstone Park. And here in town, I was a big advocate for the Little River wetlands, the place I go. That's because I was one of the ones who fought with City Hall and everything else to make sure that we were getting back the natural lands in Fort Wayne where the canal used to be. So I do know about causes, but I also know that the most important thing is my own guidance, my own calm, my own being. Because if I'm not at my best, everyone suffers. And I also know if I'm not filled, my cup isn't filled, and I am not doing things that create the environment that helps me thrive, then I lose the connection. I start getting into the monotony of the world. I start getting into just doing the habits just because. I start getting into the grind, and everything is heavy and it's hard and it's frustrating because nobody's agreeing with me, or people are, not helping, and it gets to me. But if I don't allow myself, there's no reason to get there. It's not going to help me to be there. I can get just as much work done creating the environment that helps me thrive as a person. And it changes my perception. Then when I go and I ask people which happened, oh God, I worked for CAC, which is Citizens Action Coalition. I did that was an interesting job. And I'd get the critics who, it was working against, it was when utility companies were not being fair to people. And so we got petitions. I was one of the ones having people sign petitions. And there were people that were just rude, and it didn't even faze me because I'm not going to change their mind. You know what I mean?
I did different things before, activism, but it was never dealt with something such an impossible, evil system. It's very different.
I know.
Lots of things I enjoyed, and now I suffer. I hate doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. It's good for you you've got to find times. And now I really think it'll be really good to just do like mini meditations during the day. Things that would get you centered, to put on calming meditation music, not weird, or, that weird music, but meditative music that like is piano and, real stuff, tangible stuff. So that for you, because especially if you're not going into a full meditation, doing things that keep you centered during the day so that it is an important thing what you're doing. It is very important. But if your cup isn't filled and you're only all by yourself and you're not connected to anything higher, it is extremely tiring, and things will get sacrificed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you don't want things sacrificed. So if you center yourself 2 to 3 times during the day, just stop and breathe and feel that space between the breaths, and just breathe and think, okay, all right, this is going to be all right. I can move forward. And you'll move forward in a more calm, higher awareness and focused way. Okay? Versus, oh my God, I got to do this, and all scattered. That's a very hard way to live. Try that and let me know. Hey guys, you guys were supposed to let me know something this week, weren't you? From something last week. Did we remember? I don't think I remember. How can you remember if I don't remember? Oh my gosh. We were talking about, Della, what were we talking about? You're good at memory things.
Fear.
Fear. Oh, how could I forget fear? Oh my gosh. So what, all right, so with that fear, who did the homework? Who found that, wrote down the things that they'd fear, and then on the other side, write what they were going to do to conquer the fear. Do you remember that? I now remember. Dun, dun, dun.
Are there other people on the call? I don't know.
I think so. They're over here. No, it's not just
They're
you.
all
There's
mute.
Tracy.
They're all mute. Beside me and Caitlin, they're all mute.
I think I got more. There's quite a few on the call. Hi, Resistor. Okay. And Carolyn, hello. And Pamela, hello. All right. Well, you guys, would you like to join in? What do you think about these habits in your life? Do you have habits in your life? Are they all good habits? You can always replace. I always say, you can't just stop a habit, even when you know why. So like, if I say I want to do a diet and I know why, I'm a comfort eater. I know that. And like, if I'm writing or something and I want to take a break, ooh, doesn't that look good over there? I think I'll have a little bit. Okay. And then you're screwed. So even though I know that, okay. And I say, all right, I'm not going to do that anymore. But the thing is still sitting on the kitchen counter. My son made snickerdoodles yesterday. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't need that snickerdoodle. You never need a snickerdoodle, but it's staring at me. And I had to then start thinking, okay, I've got a void. I can't eat that. I can't fill that nothing time with a snickerdoodle. I have to fill the void with something. Do you see? When you take away something you're used to, you created a void in yourself. When you take away a belief you've had, you've got to fill it with a new belief. So I started filling it with the belief. That's where affirmations come in. That's where affirmations come in. You say, I'm going to live a healthier life. So I look at that snickerdoodle and I think, no. I am going to live a healthier life. And I go to the refrigerator and I get the carrot. Do you see? That's a simplified way of filling the void.
I have to disagree.
Okay, so, go ahead.
Because I'm teaching about these things. We're actually to I don't believe in have like strong self, what's the word? I forgot the term, but in order to eat healthier, you should not have this thing in front of your face. Like we're all gonna fall into it. If I'm gonna have something junky I like in front of my face, I'm gonna have it. So the way to avoid it is like not to buy it or not to have it in front of our face.
Right.
Make it even if it sounds like difficult, like put it in the basement. So you really have to put some work to go and get it.
Yes, you do. Except when you have boys who like to cook the snickerdoodles. And I have the boys of teenage years, and if I don't buy it, they go out and buy it now. Right. So you can, but does that mean I have to eat it? No.
Yeah, but it's really hard to fight yourself, like.
But it's the same thing in life. All because we change our belief doesn't mean our circumstances change right away. The old temptations of how you were living, we create our reality, okay? So, but this is the thing. We create our reality inside ourselves. Annette, thank you, by the way. Because of your question, you get me to talk. I like it. So if we have to change inside first to see the outside change. The thing is, if we are not solid on the inside, this hasn't changed out here yet, because that is a creation, what we created before. Do you see? Mm-hmm. It takes time for the outside to catch up with what we believe. That's the law of attraction. So, but if I fall back into the old way, I do the old habits, I have the snickerdoodle, then I just regress back to this part. But if I build myself inside, first of all, finding out why I'm always eating that thingamajig when I don't need it, and B, putting something into the void when I see it, or I see that temptation in my circumstances that are going to make me go back into the old beliefs, I fill the void with something good, then I don't fall back into the old beliefs. Do you see what I mean?
Elena, I like that. I like that a lot because it helps with the discipline. When you fill the old void with something else positive.
You have to.
Remain more
The
disciplined.
universe hates a void, Carolyn. It hates it. Yeah. So anything you want to change, you have to fill the void. I always say, if a lot of people they say, oh, I want to make $1 million. Well, you have to create the mindset, and you have to build what do you want to do for it? It's very nice you want to make $1 million, but okay, so how are you going to serve? And when you figure that out, then you have to build within yourself that idea. You have to build it big. There's a wonderful book about bringing up an idea, and it's a kid's book. I love that book. I might just read it on here. And I have it somewhere. I'll read it next week. It's really good. But when that grows and it becomes you, then you can't go back. You won't fall back in the doubt because you built the idea and your capability of doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You like that, huh, Carolyn?
I do. I really do.
Yeah. That's to change a habit and just say I'm changing a habit is not the way. So what I want to ask you all to do, and Pamela and Resistor, do you have any questions? So if you do, I think you have to, Della has the setup where you raise a hand. I wish we had the formula we had before where everyone could talk, but we were having, gosh, I guess thank you, Pamela. I guess last week somebody was getting very adventuresome with unzipping pants and stuff. I didn't see it, but Della's quick with that trigger. She gets them right off. So now we have to do it this way so that we have a little bit more, well, we don't have someone break in and start saying slanderous things. Seems like people are bored right now. So anyway, thank you, Pamela. I'm glad you like it. So when you're looking, I would love you right now, if you have your pad of paper, write down a habit you want to change. And then this week, I'm giving you the steps. You know, grab that soda or grab that glass of wine or that tea or whatever. Have a seat, light a few candles if you like. Why not? Hi, Rita. Oh, hon. Oh, she's left. I didn't see her on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, poo. Anyway, so to write down, how am I going, what is it? You know, do a little meditation. It's a simple meditation, guys. You get yourself quiet. You got your candles. They smell beautiful. And you just let yourself, you get into that wonderful spot and you set the intention. Okay, so why is it I love sweets so much? Or why do I eat in all my breaks? I'm going to use the same thing so we can get some continuality. So then I go back and it'll say it. Oh, bing, there it is. Because I grew up in an Italian family and there was always food, and food was always related with love, and food was always related with everyone getting together and the laughter and the fun. And every time we had breaks, my mom would always say, hey, do you want a little soft sandwich? So you see, you have that food. It's a source of comfort. Now, when I see that, then I've done the meditation. It's that easy because you know why. And you got to drop that. Now I have options. I have to create new food that I just, the sauce sandwich isn't it, but the carrots, maybe a tiny bit of peanut butter with it. Okay, that's a good choice for me. Or an apple, or whatever, something different than the carbohydrate that I have been brought up on. Do you see? And I'm filling, in the meantime, I'm saying to myself, we're going to become healthier. We're making healthier choices so that we can live a nice, long, healthy life. And I build that in me, and I build that in me every time I say it. So try this process. It's a 3-step process. I hope I made that clear. Does anybody have questions? Yes. Hello. Okay, Carolyn's free. Resistor is free. Pamela's free. No, she's not yet. Kathleen's free. Does anybody have questions?
No, actually, I wanted to say I'm looking forward to doing this assignment.
Good. That's good, Carolyn. And I think you're going to like it too, Kathleen.
Yeah, I think it'll expand more my thinking more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, who was it that says it? And it's true. And I believe in it. You know, we have to increase our imagination, because our imagination is the link to spirit. And you cannot do that when you have everyone else chiming in. And you cannot do it when you feel that push. And yet when you have that imagination, It's so funny. It's water versus fire, guys. I can be fire and do, and fire everywhere, just making it. But it's in the quietness and the flow of the water where your imagination and where guidance can come in, and everything goes smoother and everything happens in a way that has flow, and I don't have to make anything happen. It just starts to happen. But I have to take the time to do the work here, and that is to have more times to focus during the day, like I told Annette. I have to be in the clarity, because I can get lost in the illusion of this world. Everyone can. And I have to do the things I know are healthy for me to stay connected to the way I know I get guidance. And when I get guidance, I'm right there in the flow, and the law of attraction just flows to me. And ideas come. And Kathleen, you're looking for a new way. This is like key for you. It's starting to open up that I call it living by the soul. And when you do that, you know, I'll tell you quick stories. Like I have a few minutes. I'll tell you how it's helped me, just so that you'll understand what I mean. It was last year, and my middle son had been going through a hell of a lot with his stomach. We had been down to Riley. He had had an operation. Nobody knew what was wrong, but yet my son gets this pain. I finally found a doctor who said it's a 2-year virus on him. And I can believe that. I had one when I was 18, but before that we didn't know. And he was in a private school, and the private school said, you know, you're not here enough. He wasn't. He couldn't. He had the pain of the highest was 10, and he was at 9.5. You know, he was in a lot of pain. So we left that school, and I put him in another school. Well, one day at the wonderful time of 6:45 in the morning, and you know how much I love those wonderful mornings. So we're driving I'm driving my two to school. One's already in college. So I'm dropping off one, and I'm driving to the other part of town to drop off the other. And he said, Mom, I want to drop out. Now, belief structure. I went back. I could have gone back into the belief structure, and man, was it yelling. My mind went into total monkey critical. I heard my father saying, yeah, I grew up, I didn't know what happened if you didn't go to college. I didn't know anybody didn't go to college. That's how I grew up. That's how my parents. And you just went, period. That's it. There's no life if you didn't go to college. So I had years of that. My dad was a big, giant, self-made man, okay? Structure and all that. And I had a mother, and I had a whole family saying, you have to go to college, all this. And I have a kid who's dropping out of high school, and I see this as freaking suicide, okay? Now, I could have unloaded all my relatives on him in that car. But instead, I got very quiet, and I took 3 breaths. And I heard my soul, I heard Spirit say, look in his eyes and listen to him. And so I turned to him, and I looked in his eyes. I said, okay, what's going on? I pulled the car off the road, and he told me. He told me about his day. He told me about everything that's going on. And I finally looked at him, and I said, okay. I said, you go to school today, because I saw the pain. He was in a lot of pain in his eyes. And I said, and by noon today, I will have everything set up, and you can do homeschooling. And he's been homeschooling ever since. But do you see how that could have had 2 endings? And when you're guided, it's you get wisdom. And when you go with the wisdom, and you go with so much clarity and understanding, then the next steps follow are great. I have a closer relationship with him than I've ever had. He trusts me now. He actually trusts me. He tells me everything because he knows I'm in his corner. And that is an 18-year-old boy. And you don't get that all the time. Usually they're shutting you out. you know? This goes for every part of your life. But if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, or you're living in this monotony of life where every day is the exact same and we're doing the habits that are not good for us, that connection goes out the window. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that story. All right. All right. Hey, I love you all. You know, you really have to believe you deserve the very best, every single one of you. So have fun with this exercise. I will see you next week. All right?
Yep.
And always stay connected to that beautiful part of yourself, and stay connected to people around you, and definitely to that beautiful, beloved God above, or source, universe. Namaste, ladies. Namaste.
Good night.
Bye-bye, Kathleen and Nat. Bye. Pamela. Bye, Carolyn. Bye, 180-3330. Bye-bye, Ann. Bye-bye, everyone. All right.